Hi everyone, welcome back to week 4, and we're going into part 3 of today's video lesson. And we're going to start with the presentation best practices. You are going to be doing a recorded keynote as part of your final presentation of your proposal. So I just want to go through some presentation best practices so you can get the best grade possible. First off, presentation goals. You want to tell a story. You want to connect the dots, and you want to balance it with logic and emotion. A well-organized presentation is that of a neatly wrapped present. So if you think about it, you look at a bow and the wrapping and you immediately want to open it, right? See what's inside. If you think about your presentation as a present, you'll pay close attention to the following elements that make it memorable for your audience. And as I walk through these elements, make note for your upcoming presentation and organize it in the same way. So open with a bang. The first few words are important. You need a hook. You need to grab the audience's attention and give them a reason to listen. So think about your intro and the transitions between the slides, connecting the dots, and telling a story. So starting with a hook, surprise your audience with a hook that immediately grabs their attention. So you can potentially refer to a historical event, use the word imagine, or start with a movie quote. Everybody loves movies, and you can always connect with the audience by bringing up a movie quote to start out your presentation. So think about, does your presentation hook tie back to the close? So when you start out with a hook, at the end, you want to tie that back to your closing of your presentation. Is your theme verbally mentioned throughout the presentation? So if you have some sort of background or theme, reference it. Are your main points logical, and are there smooth transitions between them? So refer to point A and you link it to point B. You preview what point B is about, and then you start discussing it. So do all your main points have solid evidence behind them? If not, don't bring it up. Your main points should have statistics, studies, graphs, surveys, all credible sources that back up your main points. And then next steps, wrap it up and mention any additional resources if relevant. Designing the slides. Okay, so as far as the layout goes, in the introduction, think of a visual way to quickly catch the audience's attention and give them a reason to listen. Have fun with your slides. Set yourself up as the most knowledgeable person on the topic because of your interest and research. Set up your theme, whether through facts or a story, and preview the main points that you'll be discussing, lining up each of the points with subpoints and supporting evidence. Think through smooth transitions that flow from one point and into the next, naturally and logically. The theme for your presentation should be a thread that's floating loosely in and out of the points and stories, but holds the whole message in one uniform way. When you're done discussing your points, arrive at a conclusion. While people walk into a room, your intro slide reminds them of who you are. It may hint at your main message, and it represents your professional brand. So strategize your slide, background, and design. So make the slide layout and backgrounds creative. Have it link to the branding message of your company or of your presentation or proposal. Creating your own template with a visual design is a good place to start. Make sure it's fresh. Keep the color template consistent and choose a background that allows space and clarity for your content. Avoid too much text or clutter on one slide, okay? Text and images, make sure that the text is relevant, not too lengthy. You want to strike that perfect balance of images and words. Use your judgment on the balance of the text and images, but consider some of the following tips. If you use images, be sure they are relevant to your topic. You want your images to be original and authentic. Plan your presentation. You should know who your audience is. So part of week 2, I believe it was, we researched who the management was for your company. So if you are presenting to a company that is a little more formal, adjust your presentation to that audience. If you research a company that's a little more tech savvy, younger audience, adjust to that. If it's sports related, understand that audience as well. Build trust and influence the audience. Perceptions, actions, and behavior. This credibility in the eyes of the audience is built by the level of customization and audience analysis the speaker has done. You want your presentation to be an extension of your brand. You want it to communicate your expertise and your ability to create a relationship with the audience. There's a Linda video on the course library that goes through all of these best practices, and I highly recommend that you watch that video. Information presented needs to be focused and efficient. It needs to have a logical appeal, so keep in mind the design elements, both visual and verbal, that help your audience recall the main message and your supporting points. And don't forget that emotional appeal. You want to connect with your audience. And again, the course library has a fantastic presentation from lynda.com on presentation fundamentals. And I really want to wish you luck with your part 4 of your assignment, and then the final entrepreneurial proposal where you combine part 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you add a intro and a conclusion, as well as a title page and your references. Make sure your transitions for that final entrepreneurial proposal are well thought out. And then lastly, I would love to hear from you, right? So we're going to do a recorded keynote presentation, and definitely utilize these presentation fundamentals when doing that presentation. As a best practice, utilize no more than 5 bullets per slide and no more than 5 words per bullet. Okay, so that's no more than 25 words per page, max, per slide rather. Okay, good luck you all, and I look forward to seeing your work.